Ho messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, tu ballerini tra di noi, ma sono tristi gli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, per una storia che non so, che vuoi nascondere ma che sta tutta là negli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Balla, non pensiamoci, balla, divertiamoci, balla, sorridiamoci, balla, e diciamoci basta. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, qualcosa vuoi dimenticare, tu balli e non ti stanchi mai, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, tu ballerini tra di noi, ma sono tristi gli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, per una storia che non so, che vuoi nascondere ma che sta tutta là negli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, è come sei, somigli un po' a me.
Good evening, everybody. Willkommen, abianto, welcome, and welcome to Starfury's 8th Facebook Live. I hope you're all having a good day. Hope you've been enjoying the lovely sunny weather that we've been having. Feels like summer's finally begun. What a perfect day for us to start discussing what's going on with Starfury conventions at the moment and how we plan to take things going forward. I hope you've all been keeping well and that you've been keeping safe. Now, during this pandemic, as you all know, that I felt it very important to keep all the attendees and the ticket holders updated on what is going on with Starfury events and how we're dealing with this pandemic. This pandemic has brought us and posed us a lot of unique and unexpected challenges for the events and for events like ours. And as a result, we've had to postpone and reschedule all our events that were supposed to take place in 2020, reschedule most of them to 2021. I've had to reschedule them again simply because it hasn't been safe for social gatherings to take place. It's been a very difficult and frustrating period of time for us all, but thankfully it's now looking like we may be beyond this pandemic. Over here in the UK, it's just approaching 90% of the adult population having had their first vaccine, with 70% of the adult population having been fully vaccinated. So it's looking like soon everybody's going to be fully vaccinated. So hopefully we will soon be past this pandemic and we can start getting back to normal life. So tonight I'm going to be going through the events, and with the way things are going, thankfully, it's looking like we're not going to have to postpone any more events. The only event that's currently had to be postponed recently has been the Red Dragon, our Hannibal convention, but everything else is pretty much set at the moment. things can change. I'm keeping my eye on how things are, but everything's looking good. And I'll always try and give you guys as much notice as I possibly can about what's going on. Now, for this Facebook Live, we're going to break it down into two halves. For the first part of the show, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start discussing my plans for what I think the safety measures that I think it will be best to implement for conventions when they come back. And then once I've gone through all the safety measures that I'm planning for the first few events coming back, then I'll start going through the events we have, the dates, the venues, the guests, and so forth. Now, we've just had to postpone, for those of you who aren't aware, but I did email all the attendees last week. I didn't want to wait for this update. I thought to get attendees aware of this as quickly as possible. As I said, I always like to get the news out to you guys as soon as it can. But the Radisson Edwardian Hotel is going to be used as a quarantine hotel for foreign travelers until the end of October. So that's unfortunately meant we've had to postpone our Hannibal event, Red Dragon. And I'm still in the situation of having to reschedule that event. I'm waiting for new dates on that. So there won't be any Red Dragon news for Hannibal fans tonight. The Radisson did offer me some dates in December, but I really felt that with nearly 50% of the attendees coming from abroad. With the Hannibal event, we get more foreign attendees than any of our other events. We get attendees from Korea, from Japan, we get attendees from Germany, from America. We get a very international turnout at the Hannibal events. So I thought it would be just better to take the opportunity to try and move it more into 2022, when it'll be much easier for people to be able to travel to the event, rather than stick it in December when there would still be some issues for some of our foreign attendees having to travel from abroad. Still waiting for some more date options from the Radisson, so hopefully I should have new dates on that. Also, I don't have new dates on Highlanders 5 at the moment. On that event, as I've said in the past, I'm waiting to hear on the schedule for the season of Outlander when it's filming next year, which hasn't been confirmed yet. So I didn't really want to schedule the event and suddenly find out it's when the show's filming and we can't get some of the best guests along. So we've had that problem in the past, and so that's what I'm looking at that with the for the Highlander event. So it's been 2 years now. It's been 2 years since we ran our last convention, and that was in November 2019, which was our Torchwood event, Miracle Day Returns. So it's been quite a bit of a break, but the way everything's going now, it's looking like we'll be back in September with Crossroads 3, which is our annual event for fans of Supernatural. It's going to be a brave new world when we come back after this pandemic, looking like for this event. And so I wanted to give you an idea of how I'm going to be looking at running that event as the first Starfury event after the pandemic. Now, from Monday, as everybody in the UK knows, on Monday, July the 19th, lockdown's ending. We're out of lockdown. And what I'm finding is a lot of events, and I don't just mean other rival conventions, but theatres, cinemas, concerts, etc., all live events, when you ask them what their safety measures that they're going to be taking post-pandemic, once the lockdown's over, they simply respond, we'll be following the government guidelines. Well, to be honest, from Monday, there are no government guidelines. They're lifting lockdown rules, they're lifting the safety measures, so there are no rules. So from next week, I could run a Starfury event as we have run them in the past, and I wouldn't be under any legal requirements to do anything differently at it. Now, I felt that that just wouldn't be common sense from my part. I didn't just want to do what the minimum requirement that the government gives. Instead, I wanted to work out myself what would be the best options to give. So go with the government guidelines, but then see what more you can give. And as I said, there aren't any government guidelines. So I've been spending a lot of time working out how we're going to implement safety protocols at the first few events back. Now, please do understand that a lot of what I'm going to be talking about will also be provisional, and there may be some changes and tweaks as we get closer to the event. A good example would be at the last Facebook Live, I was discussing potential safety protocols, and we discussed the option of having temperature checks for all attendees at registration. However, I've been doing a lot of research over the past few months. One thing I found on temperature checks is it's very unreliable and unpredictable. And you very much have the problem with attendees turning up at registration, having had a 3 or 4 hour car journey or train journey, checked into the hotel, queuing at registration, a bit anxious, maybe a bit of anxiety, a bit nervous, and you probably find half the attendees have a temperature. So the temperature check wouldn't work. So that I've dropped. So as you can see, I'm tweaking things to see what works and what doesn't. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been in contact with the NHS on advice. I've had a lot of meetings, firstly on Zoom, and more recently we had some face-to-face get-togethers with my staff to discuss what is the best course of actions for my events and how to run them safely when we come back in September. Now, I want to make my events post-pandemic as safe as possible, but I also feel that if the safety requirements needed would compromise the event too much, then I would look at postponing the event again. So it's a kind of like a difficult weighing up I've had to do, what I have to do to be safe, while at the same time not compromising the actual event itself. So I've worked at the moment. I feel that the balancing act can be achieved, and I'm going to go through what my plans are. Now, as I've said, they are provisional, and our first event is in 10 weeks' time. So a lot can still change over that period of time. Equally, once we've had the first event, and as time goes by, then we'll be able to see what measures we can drop as well. I mean, Crossroads is in 10 weeks' time. Then Enchanted's a month after that. The Vampire Ball's a month after that. So, you know, the situation will be very different by the time we get to Crossroads. Everybody will have been vaccinated. We could be in a far better situation, can drop a lot of safety measures, or at the same time, you know, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but there could be a variant or something. We don't know. But, you know, this is how I'm looking at things for Crossroads in September. Now, in terms of the safety measures that I want to implement, the very first one that we're going to do is I'm going to be asking all attendees when they arrive at registration that they will need to bring and show proof, evidence of having been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, that's pretty easy to do. All you have to do is get the NHS app onto your mobile phone, and using that, you just register with the NHS app. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do, and then that'll give you a COVID passport, which you'll also need for if you wanted to go on a flight or something like that. So you just need to show that when you arrive at registration. Now, not all attendees, the majority do, but not all attendees have a mobile phone, or some of you don't want to download the NHS app for whatever reason. Then you can also get the NHS to send you a certificate to show that you've been fully vaccinated. And as well as that, also, we will accept the little card. You get this little blue card when you have your vaccine shots, show that. We'll accept that as well. So that way we can ensure that the attendees have all been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. However, I also appreciate that not everybody may have been vaccinated come Crossroads 3. You're going to have some people haven't been vaccinated due to health reasons. You'll have some attendees who haven't been vaccinated because they haven't been offered one by the NHS. You could have various other reasons, but basically, if you haven't been vaccinated, fully vaccinated, then what we will require you to do when you arrive at the event is then you will need to show proof of having had a negative COVID-19 test within 24 hours of your arrival at registration. Now, getting one of those is very easy. All you have to do is go on the NHS website, and they will send you an NHS COVID test free of charge in the post, and you can use one of those. So you just need to get one of those and take that the night before or the morning of coming to the event, and then that will show us that you're COVID free. So you either have to show when you arrive at the event your COVID passport or evidence of having a negative COVID-19 test, which I think is pretty fair and will help keep things safe with attendees. Now, on top of that, now coming back for the first event and to make sure that things are safe for attendees, it's not a legal requirement and we can't make it mandatory, but we are going to request that attendees wear face masks while they're on convention areas of the venue. We can't force you to do it, but we are asking attendees to wear face masks. It's common sense and it keeps you safe. There you see, Mando does it. If Mando can wear a face mask, he wants to keep Grogu safe. So where he can wear it, then you can do it too. It's very easy. And here you go. I've got my Mando mask ready, got my face mask ready. So if he can do it and look cool, you can do it too. It's common sense and it'll help keep all of us safe. And to be honest, a lot of us who've been going out have gotten very used to wearing face masks anyway. I've been going to the theatre and cinema recently, and whenever I've gone out, I've had to wear a face mask at the cinema, I had to wear it at the theatre, I had to wear it whenever I've gone on transport or anywhere. It's common sense, and it doesn't just protect you, it helps protect others. So doing it is showing respect for your fellow Starfury family. And our first event back, Crossroads 3, is a supernatural event, and supernatural fans are part of a family. So I feel that wearing a mask and doing so is showing respect for your Starfury and your supernatural family. Now, as I said, we can't make it mandatory, and I understand there's some people for health reasons may not be able to wear a mask, but I do strongly advise and request people do it. It's a smart thing to do. If I was going to any busy event, if I was going to any other convention, I would wear a face mask at it. It's the sensible thing to do at the moment. We will also be having hand sanitizer stations around the venue, and we will ask attendees to keep their hands sanitized throughout the event. It's a sensible thing to do. Now, I also appreciate that some people have skin conditions or get, dry skin or skin rashes, or may have allergies to certain hand sanitizers. So if that's the case, then you can bring your own hand sanitizer along with you to use. We'll also have the stewards, we'll have hand sanitizers and masks available to give out as well. So that to help people out on that front. We'll also be operating throughout the weekends of our events a traffic light system for touch, so people can then show how they feel about touch, and people can respect that in terms of other attendees. But what we'll be doing is at registration, we'll be giving out free badges, and they'll be red, amber, or green. And a red badge is no touch, please, I don't feel comfortable being touched. An amber badge will be elbow bumps only, and a green badge is I'm comfortable with handshakes or hugs. So that's how we will do it. If somebody doesn't have a badge, then just take it from the point that they don't want to be touched, but just dealing with a feeling of respect towards attendees at the event. I've also looked at certain events reducing the number of tickets available so we can reduce the size of the events. I can't do that on Crossroads as it's sold out, but I have reduced the number of tickets available for events such as Enchanted and the Vampire Ball. So that way, hopefully make it people feel won't be as crowded and people feel safer at the event. Now, beyond that, I'm currently planning on having meetings with the venues in the next few weeks to discuss what they can do to help us keep everything as safe as possible. I've contacted the venues, and unfortunately, none of them are willing to discuss it with me at the moment. They all want to wait until July 19th. But after the July 19th, I'm going to be having conversations with the Hilton, with the Renaissance, and with the Radisson over what protocols they can also implement to make sure things are as safe as possible when we return to events. One of the things I'll be discussing with is if they can do deep cleaning and sanitizations of rooms after we've used them, about measures in terms of the ventilation and so forth, and what other protocols they can provide for us and what they'll require. I've also started discussions with the guest managers and some of the guests regarding this, and just to ensure how they feel about the measures I want to implement and how comfortable they feel with them and at the event. One of the things I really want to avoid, and I don't want to happen, is for a guest to turn up at the event and then to refuse to do certain activities or certain things at the event. So I want to get everything cleared with the guests and their managers before the events take place. So I've already started these discussions. I forwarded a lot of the managers the protocols that we're going to implement, and they've all come back and they've all been very happy with it. And they've said we've given one of the most detailed lists that any event's given them so far. So it all looks good on that front. I will be saying for the guest talks, for the meet and greets, fan meets, and for the photo sessions, we won't be having the guests wear masks. For the photo sessions, it's happened at some other events. We're not going to do it at Crossroads. We're not going to do, I don't see the point of it. There's no point in doing a photo session if the guest's wearing a mask. We're not going to have plexi screens or anything like that. We're not going to be doing social distancing. However, some guests may request no touching or physical contact. So in that case, we would ask people to respect it. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and work out some cool poses which don't require physical contact, such as back-to-back poses or something like that. We're working out a few like that, but we're not going to be having masks in the photo sessions. We'll ask you to wear a mask when you're queuing up if you're willing to, and then you take it off when you go in for your photo with the actor. We're not going to have plexiglass or masks on them or anything like that. We have discussed with the managers about the one area where I feel we may have to do it is in the autograph sessions. And what I suggested to the managers is wearing face shields, the actors wearing face shields, so that way you can still see the actors and communicate with them. A few of the actors came back to me and the managers said they've been fully vaccinated, so they're fine with not wearing a mask at all at the event. But the autograph session is one area where we may have some of the actors wearing masks. But as I said, I was going to ask them to wear face shields, so that way you can still see all their face, you can still communicate with them, and it won't feel like such an imposition. We're putting photo sessions back on sale after this. Crossroads were already on sale. We didn't have any for Keith Sarabiker, I believe. His are going on sale now. We're putting photo sales back on sale for all the guests that have confirmed, also for Enchanted and Lux 2. Another protocol that we're asking attendees to do is to pre-book your photo ops online. That saves having to have money going back and forth at the event as well. So you can pre-book your photo ops for Crossroads, Enchanted, and Lux 2 now. we're also going to be putting on sale another alteration that we've done, which we've managed to do because we've been working on things throughout this lockdown. And while, even though we've been away, we've still been working behind the scenes. And one thing we've done is we've changed the way we're doing ticketing. And you'll now see that with your tickets, you get a QR code. So that way we can just scan in your QR code at registration and get you through as quickly as possible to really minimize queuing and the waiting at registration. And we're now going to be doing the same with the fan meets. So instead of queuing up and queuing up at the event and waiting and trying to get the fan meets, then you can now book your tickets for the fan meets online. You'll get a QR code and you just have that scanned in at the event. And we've put the fan meets on sale and now available on Crossroads, Enchanted, and Lux 2. So booking those online and using a QR code, that'll keep things a lot quicker for attendees. Now, I've put a lot of thought into the safety measures. I hope you'll appreciate. I've done a lot of research. I've spoken to people, done a lot of stuff with my staff as well, and really to try and make these events as safe as possible post-pandemic. All the plans are still provisional, however. They will be tweaked over the next coming weeks. I'll be keeping an eye on the science and the data that is coming out. This is how I plan to run things for Crossroads. Enchanted's then a month after that, and the Vampire Ball's a month after that again. So that'll give us an idea of how things are going, and we'll be able to take proper measures and see how things are going as well. And hopefully as things get better post-pandemic, then we will be able to drop certain measures as we go forward and see what works and what doesn't work. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another Facebook Live on August 27th. Now, I don't know if I'll have much news in terms of guests or venues and so forth, but the reason for having the Facebook Live on August 27th is really to go over again the safety precautions. It may be just the same as what I've just done, but given that we'll have been over a month out of lockdown, it'll give us a clearer idea of how things are going and what situation we're in and any tweaks or changes that need to be made for those protocols. So I wanted to just give you all an idea now. I didn't want a lot of events, as I say, a lot of events that you go to, not just conventions or signing events, but theatres or cinemas or whatever, are just saying at the moment we'll be following government guidelines. I didn't want to just give you that. I wanted to show you some respect and not just give you that, but actually give you full details of what I planned and what I felt would be safe and common sense measures to make. But as I said, these can change. It's all provisional. So I'm going to do another Facebook Live August 27th, and I'll go over the measures again on August 27th. And then I will have a Facebook Live again the Friday before Crossroads. And then that'll be basically mostly focused on the event Crossroads, what we're doing on that, the schedule for that and everything. And we can go over all the planned protocols at that as well. And this is really just mostly about showing attendees the respect so you know what to expect when we come back. Now I'm going to move more on to giving you details of the events and what we have planned and how events are coming back. Now, with the events I'm listing, I'm going to be going into details on. It's also worth remembering that in many cases, when I reschedule event, when we've had to reschedule from their original dates in 2020, and now we're most talking about events that are going on now in 2022, it's been a year gap, 2-year gap actually. So as we're moving these events into 2022, it's my intention pretty much all, there's only one where I'm thinking of changing things, but really on all of them to get the original guest lineups back. And I've been contacting the actors or contacting their representation and their managers and their bookers. And some cases the guests confirm straight away and they give me permission straight away to re-advertise them. In some cases, the guests want a brand new contract, so you've got to go back and redraw up and renegotiate a new contract. And in some cases, the actors or their managers might go, this event's 8 months away, or this event's 10 months away. And they'll go, yes, my client wants to do it, but we don't know their schedule and we don't feel comfortable confirming them this far in advance. So what I'm doing in that situation is I'm not advertising guests until their managers have confirmed them and given me permission to re-advertise them. There's a lot of cases where some events just take their original lineup, plonk it on the new dates, and they don't take guests off until the guests turn around and say, I can't do those dates. Instead, I'm taking the opposite approach. I'm not sticking guests on the website until they say I can do those dates. So that means that there are going to be some guests who were previously advertised and I'm not advertising them at the moment. And that's because they haven't reconfirmed yet. So don't freak out if there's any guests you wanted to see. Don't freak out yet. I'll let you know if they can't do it. But if there's guests that aren't advertised, that's probably because I'm still either a new contract's being done or they don't want to reconfirm this far in advance. And I just think that that's, for me, I think this is the most respectful way to not just the actors, but to you guys, for me to not start advertising actors until they are confirmed on the new date. So that's just to let you know, so you don't panic when we go through this, if there's an actor who would be previously announced who hasn't been confirmed yet. Anyway, after it'll been a 22 month break, our first event back is going to be Crossroads 3. And that's going to be taking place this September. And we have a little trailer for you to get you all excited for that. So there you go. That's Crossroads 3, our third event for Supernatural. I think we've got an absolutely incredible lineup for that event. It's going to be very exciting to finally be back for conventions with Crossroads 3. Photo ops and the fan meets will all be available for you to order if you wanted to get some of those at the end of this Facebook Live. And it's going to be a great event, that one. I really want to thank the Supernatural fans. Have been, since we did our first Supernatural event, the Supernatural fans have been absolutely amazing. They always say the Supernatural fans, they call it the Supernatural family. And you really do get that impression when I'm there from the fans, but also from the actors as well. It is one giant community, and it's been absolutely amazing how supportive all the Supernatural fans have been throughout this pandemic, and really patient with the rescheduling and so forth. And the guests have been fantastic as well. I've had Mark Shepherd and Kat Ramdeen and Keith Sarabika onto me a lot, and they've been very supportive. Misha's manager, through his manager, Misha's been great as well. And all the guests have been very supportive of this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all you guys, all the Supernatural fans at Crossroads 3. I know we have to take some precautions, but I think we can really make this a really fun and a very special event. And one thing I'll be doing to make things good for the fans when they come back, just checking this, just got a quick message. One thing that I wanted to do for the Supernatural fans who've supported this event, there'll definitely be a Crossroads for next year. We'll have a different lineup of guests, some really exciting guests, and we'll also make sure that the attendees of Crossroads 3 will have first dibs on the ticket that weekend before they go on sale to the general public, as a way of saying thank you to all the incredible support that they've shown so far on this. Now, then after we have our Crossroads event, we then move on to Enchanted 3, and that's our event for fans of Once Upon a Time. And that event's taking place October 15th to 17th at the Hilton Hotel, Birmingham. And we've got quite a few cool guests at this. That starts with Jennifer Morrison. Got Jennifer Morrison coming along, as well as Colin O'Donoghue, having the two of them teamed up. I think is going to be very exciting for fans. We've also got joining us Barbara Hershey. It's her first UK appearance. We've got Michael Raymond James. This is one of his first convention appearances. We've got Rose McGowan, who, as well as being in Once Upon a Time, a lot of you will know her from Charmed. Rose Reynolds. We've got Tierra Scov-By, which makes a good team up with Rose Reynolds. And we've got Isabella Blake Thomas. And we're still working on reconfirming other guests, although we have the fan meets and the photo ops up on sale for the guests who are confirmed. We will be having a refund period in the next week or so on the Once Upon a Time event for those who can't make the new dates. We've already had our refund period on Crossroads, and as well as the next event, Vampire Ball, but we've got to do one on Enchanted for those who can't make it. It is, I'm afraid, going to be our final Once Upon a Time event. We've had a lot of fun with the Once Upon a Time fans and with the Once Upon a Time guests. It's unfortunately one that has been hit by the pandemic. I had hoped to do a fourth Once event and combine it with Manifest, but unfortunately with Manifest being cancelled and with Once kind of losing its interest, we've had more refund requests on this event than any of the other ones. It's kind of put it into a position where we really can't consider pushing forward on Once Upon a Time. I don't think we would have, if we been able to do Enchanted 3 last year and could have done Enchanted 4 this year with Manifest, I think it would have worked. But unfortunately, I think it's one that has been hit by the pandemic. So hope you'll join us at that. It's our last event for fans of Once Upon a Time. I have reduced the number of tickets available so to make attendees feel a bit safer at the event itself. So there's only a limited number of tickets, about 20 or 30 tickets still available to purchase if you wanted to attend that event. So I hope we'll see you along as we give a bold send-off for Once Upon a Time. It's a show that a lot of people are really into, so that's going to be our final event for fans of Once. And then our final full event for 2021 is the annual Vampire Ball, and that's our annual event for fans of Buffy and Angel and other Joss Whedon shows, and we sometimes throw in something from other shows as well. But we have a trailer for you for the Vampire Ball. So there you go. That's the Vampire Ball taking place from the 5th to the 7th of November 2021 at the Renaissance Hotel Heathrow. We're back at the Renaissance, and we've got a great lineup of guests, and we've just added in Emma Caulfield, who many of you, she was, as well as playing Anya on Buffy, she's also been in Once Upon a Time. She was in Supergirl, and more recently she was in WandaVision. So it's kind of our first WandaVision guest. We've also got the lovely Amber Benson joining us, who was Tara on Buffy. We've got along Harry Groner. He played the mayor on the show. He very rarely does events, so this is a rare opportunity for you to meet the mayor from Buffy and get a photo and autograph from him. Also joining us will be Christine Sutherland. This is her first time at a Starfury event. We've got Armin Shimmerman, who played Principal Snyder on the show. Of course, Armin was in Deep Space Nine. He was in Stargate. He's been in so many great shows. He's a great guy. He's going to have a lot to talk about. We've got Camden Toy joining us, who played a ton of characters under makeup on both Buffy and Angel. He's had a great career, and first time at a Starfury event. I don't think he's done a UK event before. We couldn't keep Jonathan Woodward away. He'll make sure that we have a fun party over the weekend. We've also got non-Buffy and Angel guests. We've got Miracle Laurie joining us, who of course was in the Joss Whedon show Dollhouse. And we have Alison Scagliotti, who was in the TV show Warehouse 13. And finally, we've got Georges Genti. He is the comic artist on Buffy. He also has been drawing comics such as Batgirl, Batwoman, Deadpool, the US Agent. He's one of the top comic artists, but he worked very closely on the Buffy comics and also the Firefly comics as well. So that's the Vampire Ball. That's going to be taking place in November. It's as I was saying before, it's very sad on Enchanted that you have shows and you have a popular fan base, but it gets to a point where unfortunately you have to let it go, and it's quite sad. You know, we had to stop running events from other shows such as Lost Girl or Battlestar Galactica. There's a lot of cool shows that we covered in the past and we had to drop, and there's something about Buffy and Angel, they don't go away. I always say it's the four shows, the X-Files, Star Trek, Doctor Who, and Buffy are the four fandoms that never die, and Buffy remains as popular as ever. I perfectly appreciate that there's been some controversy recently, and a lot of upset in terms of allegations of bullying and mistreatment during the making of the show. And this is always something that Starfury never condones and stands against. But I do think that you can be against such behavior, while at the same time you can still take from a show, still keep from it what you appreciated and enjoyed of the show and what it brought to you, as well as respecting the work of everybody else that was involved on the show. And there's a lot of people involved on the work of Buffy and Angel who did an incredible job. So I want to still support all of those. So I still think we can have a very positive and fun event, and we've got some really cool guests for that. And then we're going to round out the year with a party. It's not a proper convention. It's just going to be a party. And that's on the 31st of December and the 1st of January. And that's going to be Starfury Destiny. And that's a 2-day event. It's a party on the 31st of December and then the party on the 1st of January. It's not going to be any autographs, photos, or guest talks. It's just a chance for fans to get together, hang out with their convention family, and party and celebrate the new year. And joining us for that will, of course, be Jonathan Woodward, who is always along for a party at a Destiny event. And the tickets will be free to anybody who's got a ticket for a Starfury event taking place this year or next year. So if you've got a ticket for any Starfury event this year or any next year, as a thank you for your support and for being part of the Starfury family, we run the Destiny event free of charge to you as a way of saying thank you. If, however, you've got friends who wanted to attend or some family, or if you haven't been to a Starfury event in a while but still wanted to attend this, you can purchase tickets, but we are giving tickets out for free to the attendees who supported our events as a way of just saying thank you. to you guys. And then that brings us into 2022 and a whole brand new year. Hopefully we'll be beyond this pandemic by then. We can be looking at exciting new horizons in a brave new world. Hopefully we'll be back to normal by then. And what better way to start 2022 by getting together to celebrate one of the best shows that was on Netflix, and that's The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And here's a trailer for it. Now, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was one of my favorite shows recently. I absolutely love this show. It was on Netflix. It ran for 4 seasons. It's one of the best shows on Netflix. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a great show and you'll really enjoy it. We've got some great guests joining us for this event. It's taking place from the 4th to the 6th of February at the Renaissance Hotel. And joining us so far that have reconfirmed, we've got Miranda Otto. Also joining us will be Lucy Davis. We also have Tati Gabrielle, along with Chance Perdomo and Richard Coyle. Now, I absolutely love Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Unfortunately, this event didn't quite have the response I was expecting, so it's going to be a one-off. So there won't be a Greendale 2 or 3. This is just going to be the one event we're going to do celebrating Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So if you're a fan, do please come to this event. You're not going to have another opportunity at a Sabrina event like this. We're still waiting on a few more reconfirmations, but I think already the guest list is looking fantastic if you're a fan. So I hope you'll join us for that event. Now, after Chilling Adventures of Sabrina with Greendale, we then move on to Lux 2, and that's our event for fans of the television series Lucifer. And that one's taking place this February 2022, and we now have a trailer for you for it. So that's Starfury Lux 2, our celebration of Lucifer. That it's one of the most popular shows in the world. It broke all records on Netflix, and it's kind of broken records at Starfury event because the event sold out. We'll be having a refund period in the next month or so for attendees who can't make the new dates. So there will be some more tickets available. They'll probably go almost immediately. The demand for Lucifer's huge, and we've got an amazing guest lineup. And the best part of is we've got the devil himself coming along, and that's Mr. Tom Ellis. Also joining us is Leslie Ann Brandt, who plays Maze, one of the most popular characters on the show. We've got DB Woodside, who of course was in Buffy as well in 24. We've got Kevin Alejandro, as well as Lucifer, was also on True Blood. There's Rachel Harris. This is her first UK appearance. We've got Amy Garcia. Also joining us is Trisha Helfer. Many of you know her from Battlestar Galactica as well. And we've got one of the latest cast members, Imbar Lavi, for her first UK appearance. And we've got the producers and creators of the show. We've got Joe Henderson. And we've also got Ildi Madrovich. And we also have the comic book artist Lee Garbutt, who worked on the original Lucifer comic and is currently working with Joe Henderson on other comic projects as well. So there's a lot going on that. It kind of also shows you with the whole with Tom Ellis, because some guests, they need to wait and see how their schedules, or alternatively you've got to work out a new contract with the manager and draw up a new contract, which can take a month or so. So when I announce the guest lineups, when I'm rescheduled and one or two are missing, don't panic, just wait and see how it goes. I had a couple of people who demanded refunds because Tom Ellis isn't going and now they're missing out. So that's how that goes. So you don't have to panic until I said, no, this guest can't make it. So moving on from Lux 2, which I think is going to be amazing. The first Lux was it was a really kind of magical event. The kind of like vibe there was, having so many of the cast together and all the fans together. It was such an amazing experience. Oh, and as I forgot to mention that photo ops are back on sale now for Lux. And we have photo ops on sale now for the first time for DB Woodside and for Trisha Helfer. The Tom Ellis ones and the Amy Garcia are close to selling out, as was the group photo. If you bought a group photo before the rescheduling, actually you've lucked out because we've increased the number of guests and the tickets group photos have had to go up in price. So if you bought them before we put in Trisha and DB, you're actually saving some money, and we're waiting for somebody to reschedule. So you could be saving even more money if you buy your group photo now. But, as I say, photo ops are on sale now. Fan meets are on sale now. And that's Lux 2. It's completely sold out. We may have some more tickets after we've held the refund period, but it's going to be an incredible event that was, if it's previous ones anything to go by with that cast and those fans. And then after Lux 2, we have Survival 5. And Survival 5 is our final celebration of the television series The 100. We've had a great time running those, and we've got a trailer for you for Survival 5. So there you go. That's Survival 5, our celebration of the television series The 100. And the guests that we have coming include Paige Turco. It's first time at a Starfury event. We've got Tassia Teles, who's always very popular, as well as Luisa de Oliveira. And we also have Sarah Thompson. She hasn't done a UK event before, and not from the 100, but for her first ever convention appearance from the TV series Motherland Fort Salem. We have the star of that show, Taylor Hickson, joining us for it as well. So that's how it's looking for Survival at the moment. We're still working on guests for it. There were 2 guests who I was trying to get to confirm to reconfirm for tonight. They should probably, it wasn't fully sorted. One of them needs a new contract. One of them I've always dealt with her and she's got a new manager and she just wanted to run it past them. So hopefully I should have them sorted when I have the August update for you. So there's still more to come on Survival. We've already had a great time with the 100 fans. They love to party. The 100 guests have always been amazing. They love having out and they love spending time with their fans. So it's always been a great time with the 100 guests and the fans of the show. Unfortunately, it kind of like feels that it's come to the time of the end of the show. So that's going to be our final celebration of it. It's going to be our final celebration of the 100. But we're also using the event to try out Motherland Fort Salem. If you haven't seen the show, you can watch it now streaming on BBC iPlayer. The show's fantastic. I ran through the whole show, binged the lot of it in a weekend, really enjoyed it. And we may get 1 or 2 more guests from Motherland Fort Salem for that weekend, see what the initial response is like. And if we get a positive response to it for this event, then we can look at covering Motherland Fort Salem, maybe with its own event in 2023. We'll have to see how that goes. So those are the events that we had previously confirmed with dates and venues, but we've got 2 events now to reconfirm that we hadn't previously, and those are our celebrations of DC adaptations of DC comics into television series, and also films and TV series based on Marvel comics, and that's our Ultimates events. And we've got 2 Ultimate events. I've actually rebranded one of them. It was originally called Ultimate Elseworlds. I don't know why, I kind of like just got sick of the name and I've rebranded it. So it's now going to be called Ultimate Crisis, but that is going to be our celebration of the DC universe and DC TV shows. We've got a lot of guests who've reconfirmed, and Ultimates Crisis, formerly Elseworlds, but it's now going to be Ultimates Crisis. That's taking place from 6th to 8th of May 2022 at the Hilton Hotel, Birmingham. And we've got some awesome guests coming to that. Now, we've got some great guests from Legends of Tomorrow, and that's headed up by the star of Legends of Tomorrow, Katie Lotz. She's going to be along. We also have John Constantine himself, Matt Ryan, and Sergeant Steele. Another one's had a lot of requests for. Nick Zano will also be joining us. From Batwoman, we have the best thing in the show along. Alice herself, Rachel Scarston, will be joining us. From Supergirl, we have Nicole Maines, who plays Dreamer. She's one of the nicest people you can meet. She's absolutely awesome. From Stargirl, we have the main villain of Stargirl. And again, one of the best things in it, we have Meg DeLacy, who plays Shiv in Stargirl. And we have 2 guests from Arrow. We have Joseph David Jones from Arrow. This is his first UK event and hugely popular with fans. Everybody loved her on Arrow, and I think she's got a lot of fans from Shadowhunters as well, and that's Kat McNamara. So those are the guests who've reconfirmed. Still waiting on with some of them. It's just because this Ultimates event isn't till next May. So I know there's a lot of Supergirl guests you want to see. Still waiting, probably won't know around till October, November period on them, just because of how far away it is. Hopefully by time we have the next update in August, one of the Stargirl guests and one of the Batwoman guests have pretty much said they're reconfirming, but we've just got to redo the contracts on those. And I do like to have things properly confirmed on a guest before I start. I don't want to start advertising a guest till everything's confirmed. So that way we know where we stand on everything. And then that brings us to the last event that we're discussing tonight. There's not a huge much I can fortunately say about guests at the moment on it, but our Marvel event, Ultimates Agents Assemble, that one's going to be taking place from 10th to 12th at the Hilton Hotel, Birmingham. So 10th to 12th, Hilton Hotel, Birmingham. So far, we've just got 2 reconfirmations from The Gifted. We've got Emma Dumont, who plays Polaris on The Gifted, and from Agent Carter, plus Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., plus Dollhouse and The Walking Dead, we also have Enver Jokai has reconfirmed as well. Now, I did say on all the other events, I'm looking at getting back all the original guests as much as I could before I look at other guests. With Ultimates Agents Assemble, it's kind of like, I'm kind of like a bit cautious on that one. So I'd love to hear your opinions on Facebook or other places, because originally when this event was to take place in 2020, it would have been Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had just ended and Agent Carter was being reshown on Disney Plus. So I thought there'd be a surge of interest in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter. So we were going to do a full cast reunion of Agent Carter, and we were going to get as many of the cast from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to it as well. So it was basically the thrust of Agents Assemble was going to be Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Unfortunately, by 2022, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be 2 years old. The reshowing of Agent Carter would have been 2 years ago. At least with The Gifted, that only recently came on Disney Plus. There'll be a lot of interest. But at the same time, suddenly we've got a whole pile more Marvel shows. Should I still be looking at Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or should I be looking at WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Loki, Black Widow, Eternals, stuff like that? So it's a bit of a question for me there, how to go forward with Agents Assemble. But I'd love to know all you guys, because given that it's 11 months away, it's a bit too early for a lot of guests to confirm. So I've got a lot of room at the moment. But anyway, that brings us all. We'll hopefully have some news soon for you on the Hannibal event and our Outlander event, Highlanders, as well. I'm still working behind the scenes on those. But there, as you can see, is the current confirmed dates for our events. I very much wanted to have this update for you tonight, not just to let you know the new dates for Ultimates events, about certain guests, new guests that we had to confirm, let you know that I know certain people were really panicking over Tom Ellis, let you know that we've got the star of Motherland Fort Salem, Taylor Hickson, joining us, letting you know all about that. But it was also important to give you an idea of what my plans were for the event post-pandemic. Because I say a lot of people I see for events just say we're following government guidelines. And I just wanted to know that I'm not just doing the minimum required. I really am looking at what is the best measures to make these events safe. So we'll be having the next update on August 27th. And then I'll be able to give you another update of where we stand for Crossroads 3 and what our post-pandemic plans will be for that. We'll have a much better idea, because we come out of lockdown on Monday, and we'll have a much better idea of how things are going by then and where we stand. It's going to be in 2 years. I'm really looking forward to seeing people back when we can get back to running events. I am so looking forward to getting back to events, even just attending events and being at a party and hanging out with fellow fans. I really miss all of that. I especially can't wait for Destiny. So I'm looking forward to Blow. I've got 2 years worth of partying to catch up after all of this. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all at a future Starfury event. We've got as I say, photo ops and fan meets are now back on sale for Crossroads 3, Enchanted 3, and for Lux 2. Also, the website should be up within the next few minutes. And once the website's back up, hotel booking links are up for both Ultimates events. So you can now book your hotel rooms for both of those Ultimate events. And also we're putting on sale, we've got about 40 gold upgrades from refunds we did on the previous refund period for Ultimates Crisis, formerly Elseworlds. So if you have a regular ticket for that, if you wanted to upgrade it to gold, you'd be able to upgrade it to gold. We've got about 40 of those available. We'll be having the refund period shortly on Elseworlds and then followed by Lux 2. We'll give you the details on those to attendees by email. That pretty much covers everything. I think. I hope that you're all doing safe and well, keeping yourself safe during this pandemic. Even though the lockdown with rules it's dropped, I would still say wear your mask when you're out in public. Mando wears his mask. You'll see me out in shopping in Forbidden Planet or Tesco's or Sainsbury's or going to the theatre wearing my face mask here. So make sure to wear your face mask. Make sure to get your vaccine when you get offered it by the NHS, unless there's health reasons you can't. But otherwise, I miss you all. I really have missed you all. I look forward to seeing you all back at events. I hope you're all staying well. And please take care of each other. And I've asked a few actors, I may have a Facebook Live interviews in the next week or so. Keep an eye on our social media for that. But other than that, hopefully I see you here on August 27th. I'll give you an update on where we stand on our post-pandemic rules and any more news on events. But in the meantime, stay safe and well, take care of each other, and have yourself a good night.